I'm Tom Pinckney. I graduated MSA class of 2018 and spent a year working at Asurion in Nashville, kind of doing analytics. Decided what I really wanted to do is build data products. And so I came to a company back here in Cary called Precision Lender, where we build kind of commercial banking products for bankers all over the country.
Very cool. Well, thank you for taking the time. And I'm Louise. I'm a current MSA student. So I will be graduating in May of 2022. The first question I have for you is fill in the blank. The data I typically work with is, and take that as you will.
Unstructured, inconsistent, large, all of the above.
So a lot of data cleaning.
A lot of data cleaning. It's not a joke that, what I say, like 90% of the job is data cleaning. By far the most valuable skill that a data scientist can work on.
Okay, great. Next question, Python or R as your preference, or the one you work with the most?
Most people from my class will definitely remember me as being the R guy in our class. I think I gave at least one presentation on R and ggplot. But since then, once I've started working, I'm really just a use the right tool for the right job person now. So when I was doing a lot of analysis, it was mainly R, ggplot. Now that I work in software, it's pretty much everything is in Python or PySpark.
Okay, great. So I guess that follows quite nicely into my next question. Do you have a visualization preference? I know you mentioned ggplot, but have you used kind of more R Shiny or Tableau, Power BI? What's your visualization preference?
Yeah, so for doing like really custom and interesting things, I've loved using R Shiny in the past, just for its easy ability to kind of integrate R scripts into the backend to do stuff that is pretty much impossible with Tableau or Power BI or whatever. But for just kind of quick dashboarding, usually Tableau or Power BI will get the job done faster and easier.
Yeah, that sounds like a good way to go about it. And then let's see. So a few questions about your time at the Institute. What was your most challenging part of your time at the Institute? And what was the most fun part about being at the Institute?
The most challenging thing about being at the Institute was just the time commitment. It's a lot of work, to really learn that much in a year takes a huge commitment. And being a dad, I had 2 kids at the time. It just meant a lot of sacrifice, but the benefit, has been very evident. I've had a great career since graduation and loved the experience. The most fun part about it was basically the people that you get to spend that time with. I still keep up with several students from my class and actually have been able to get 2 of them hired to come work with me here at Precision Lender. So make the commitment, do it for the full year, and really work on the relationships with your classmates.
Yeah, that's great advice. Thank you. Did you have any gaps in knowledge when you came out of the Institute, or kind of what things would you recommend for students to focus on during their time?
The biggest gap in my knowledge was definitely figuring out how to deal with data kind of on an ongoing basis. So in school and in most practicum projects, you generally have a data set that you're working with, and it is what it is, and it's probably not going to change that much over the course of your project. Some practicum projects are not like that, but most of them will be. And then as soon as you get out into the real world and are working at a job, everything is something that you're going to do now, and then probably a month later, somebody's going to ask you for it again, and a data source has changed, and something looks different or whatever. And so the biggest thing I had to learn was basically how to make my code kind of robust to those changes, how to know when I shouldn't trust a data source because I know it's not going to be there a month from now when I get asked the same questions, and kind of all the things that go into building sort of production level code and creating something that can be sustained over the long run instead of just kind of preparing to do a big presentation at the end of a project.
Yeah, that's definitely, I can see that being a big challenge coming out, but very helpful to know.
And, I don't think it's really something that you can learn in school because it just kind of naturally comes from having to own something and fix all the errors in it over time, that you kind of learn that process.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we have time for one more question. Hope maybe a quick one. Is what you are doing now what you thought you would be doing when you were a student at the IA?
I would say no, mainly because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do when I was a student at the IAA. I think, April gave us this advice all the time. Like, the first job you get is probably not going to be the job that you're going to stay in for a long time, because a lot of that first job is figuring out exactly what you like to do. And then maybe your second or third job might be more of the thing that you want to do. And that was my exact experience. I just kind of took the best opportunity I had coming out of the Institute, and working there kind of allowed me to figure out that what I really liked was building products that I get to own and maintain over the long run. And so then that's what I do now. So coming out of the Institute, didn't really know what I wanted to do, but that first job was really when I figured it out. And now that's exactly what I am doing.
That sounds great. I think that's really nice to hear as a student. It's nice to hear it all works out. So, well, yeah, and I think that is our time. So thank you so much.